Let's talk about fascia, what it is, and how we can work with it and open it to reduce pain and increase our movement and quality of life. So in all the years I've worked with fascia, the most used analogy I have is saran wrap. Hopefully you can see my green saran wrap. So fascia is connective tissue. There's of course layers of this going different directions throughout the body. It's really what holds us together. And it's around the cells, it's around the muscle fibers, it's around the organs, and it does what it can. And fascia is very strong and very helpful, and it does what it can to support us. So if I think about the fascia here in the front of my body and here in the back of my body, as I spend a lot of time forward facing, the front of my body starts to get short, and the back of the body, the fascia is very taut, right? Because it's wanting to support my head. The weight of my head is going forward, and it's like, let me help you with that. So it gets tight to support that. To open that back up, we need a slight stretch and the element of time. So what's really important is a slight stretch. If we have a kink and we go to force it open, the body thinks, oh my gosh, we have another traumatic event here. Let me protect myself. So as soon as you take that stretch back out, it tightens back up. And we don't want that. That's not helpful in the long run. Let's put a gentle stretch in the system, and over a minute, 90 seconds, that fascia will start to open. And some of those patterns can be changed. And that's what we want to do. It can look very different. And it can look, I like the word organic. So the way I move to open up my fascia is not going to be the way that you move to open up your fascia. I've had totally different life experiences and different traumas and different accidents and different emotional events, and that all gets stored if it's not expressed or if it hasn't been worked out. So if I'm having this neck pain, right, if I'm having pain up here, that can be coming from lower down my back. It can be coming from something that's wrapping around from the front of my body. It can even be, I fell on my shoulder and this fascia around the shoulder, very three-dimensionally, tightened up to protect this shoulder, and now it's pulling up into my neck. So to open that, we need to do a slight stretch and some time. It's going to vary. If we're working out, you know, a couple layers of fancy fascia here. So ideally, if these two pieces of fascia are gliding in two different directions next to each other, this one's up and down and this one's going across, they can move across from each other if there's enough hydration in the body. But if they get stuck, now we've got to figure out, how do we get these wrinkles out, right? Those are more intense. So what I tell people is, let the body tell you how to move. After an injury, or as you're working things out of the body, or on an emotional level, working things out of the body, we start gentle and slow and organic. So again, the body wants, the fascia wants to be helpful, so let's not give it any reason that it needs to tense up. So if I say, we've talked about the neck, and I'm going to do the side of the neck here just to, it's easy to see right now. So if I go, wow, I can make my neck go way over here, causes a kink, and it causes more than a gentle beginning stretch on that side of my neck. So if I tap into what it is that I'm feeling, I may start a stretch in my neck, relax my shoulder, encourage it if I need to, think long, and as soon as I feel a stretch, which is right here, I just hold that. And I let the body, like the saran wrap, start to open. If I want to encourage that much, I can do that. I can say, well, I know this fascia is connected to that fascia. I can connect in there by putting skin to skin and just letting gravity maybe pull that saran wrap, that fascia down just a little. And now I can add a stretch in a different direction. So tensions, knots, wrinkles that have been there for a while take more time to loosen up. The body needs to move from a more collagenous to a more fluid. So I think of it as when you've got the difference between jello that's in a very solid form as to jello that's more movement and sometimes even a little bit watery. But that takes a little bit of time to move that. So I might start with a little stretch. I might hook in here, let my hand, my skin contact, gravity pull it down just a little. And then I just kind of feel, where is it that I want to move? Right there. That is a beautiful stretch for me today, right there. So I hold that. And I can watch the clock if I need to watch the clock. After a while, you'll start to get a sense of what that feels like. And as that opens, then it might go, okay, now I'm ready to go a little bit farther. In what direction is that? A little bit farther this way, a little bit farther this way. Or maybe, just like the saran wrap, sometimes we go shorter, change direction a little, and then put a different stretch. And there's a very different stretch. This is more in this area of the neck. And if I have 5 minutes, maybe that's all I work on, is that side of my neck. If I have a little bit more time, I might check in with the other side of my neck. So I'm feeling tension here, and I'm gonna bring my arm down to add more stretch to that. So this, instead of going up the neck, tends to go down the arm a little bit. Gentle stretch. So I'm just reaching towards the floor. And as that starts to loosen up, which way does it want to go? That's a different stretch. Now those are areas that haven't been there a long time, so it might be perfectly fine to just keep moving through that. There's nothing jarring, there's nothing very painful that makes me want to stop. And then as I move up here, I go, ooh, there's something. So I can pull my arm in, I can stretch my arm out. We're looking for that feeling stretch. Hold. And then just let it continue on what it wants to do. Your stretch may look nothing like mine. You might go here and then go, wow, here's my today's stretch. And let that open up whatever area of the neck that is. It's a very different organic way to move. And there's benefits to doing exercises, yoga poses, stretches as prescribed. But there's also times where that's not going to help the body if you're forcing it, if you're pushing it too far. So I'll have some other videos that kind of explore different parts of the body and moving in this way to open up and release fascia. So thank you, body, for helping me release what I don't need to carry anymore. All right, thanks.